If 2020 can be summed up in one emotion, it's got to be pure happiness, unalterated joy, and just good times. So as guitar players, we should not be left behind at the train station, which is why today I'm dedicating everything to sounding happy and having some good vibes. It's going to sound like this. It's super easy. It's 2 chords, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the scales that go behind it and how you can easily just get your jollies out playing guitar, right? So we're going to start with C major chord, but we're not going to play it like an open chord. We're going to splice that in every now and then. We're going to start by playing this C major chord right here. All right, rocking out the Fender Ultra Strat today. Basically, this is like an A major chord, just A sharp, B, C on the 5th fret. So I've got the D string, G string, and B string, 5th fret. You can see this is maybe like the upper half of a C major bar chord. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna just hit that, announce ourselves in major, just get those feel-good vibes, remembering that Hamilton is on Disney Plus right now. So that's a lot of fun, right? So you hit that, C major right here. Then this is a trick. These are like the super good vibes, all right? And I'm gonna tell you how I'm thinking of this. There's a couple different ways to come about it, right? But if you've seen some of the other videos, C major has a minor pentatonic shape that goes really well with it. It's relative minor, okay? So the relative minor in any key is always gonna be 6 notes away from it. So C, D, E, F, G, A, right? So A minor pentatonic is one of those first kind of shapes we learn, right? So I'm thinking of the minor pentatonic shape, even though we're playing C major pentatonic because we're adding it to a C. But I'm thinking of this hand shape because a lot of guitar players are familiar with this. There's something about guitar that, for me specifically, I always like the darker, edgier stuff for the most part, and that minor scale stuff sounds really good. So that shape became really ingrained into my playing more than I can even like compensate for. So we're twisting it into our good doing ways by adding it to the C major chord. So what I'm focusing on is that shape, 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5-8. I'm taking maybe the middle 2 strings, the D and the G string, 5-7, 5-7, right? Right there. So you can see it's part of that chord. Now if I double stop through it, play 2 notes at a time, like I'm just plucking the D and the G string, and then I'm getting the 7th fret on the D string right there. Right? Now I've got a little riff I'm kind of working around. Then we've got this little pentatonic run. So I'm just going to climb through that hand shape. Again, I'm thinking of the relative minor. You can think of this as an extension off C, however you want to get there. That's the beautiful thing about good vibes. It doesn't matter how you get there. I'm not here to judge you. It's just the final destination, right? Every time I turn on the news, I just see more good news. It's unbelievable, 2020, how great it's going. Kathleen Kennedy is out at Disney. George Lucas might be coming back to save Star Wars. I don't even know if that's true, but I saw it on the news, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go up this double stop thing right here. 5-7, 5-7. I'm going to go a full step from there. So if I'm just going by the strings, D, 5-7, G, 5-7, 9, which lines your middle finger up with the 8th fret of the B string, play those together. And then I'm just kind of coming up with this little riff right here, right? So I've got C major. Sounds great. It's amazing, right? It's so much fun. It's like finding out that Matisse Thybulle has a YouTube channel and you can see the NBA bubble with unfettered access. More good news, right? So I'm just adding that on top of a C major triad chord. Again, relative minor. And then just kind of going back and forth. You don't even have to double stop. If double stopping is maybe kind of too much to try to like focus on hitting 2 strings at the same time, just go up through the scale. Just back and forth. C. Works great. And then kind of just seeing this as like a hot spot that you just kind of connect to a C major chord. is something you can always do. You don't have to be in this chord voicing. I can start up here. And it's always going to sound good, right? Good news is always welcomed. That's what I'm saying, right? Now, we've just got this in one spot. The great thing is we can just move it to another spot in the same key. Something that is a super happy, good vibe progression is a 1 to a 4 progression. So if C is 1, C, D, E, F. F would be 4. That's why C major to F major always sounds so good. The vibes are just chilling right there. We can move that whole thing to an F. So my pointer finger right here is on the 5th fret as a C chord. Again, I can count through the notes. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. I end up on the 10th fret. Now, the great thing about it is if I'm thinking of F's relative minor, that would be D. It lines up right where your pointer finger is. So all those minor pentatonic licks that you practiced in those darker, edgier days are going to come in handy just by maybe going through the same thing. Right? It just feels good. And that's all just on an F chord. So this whole thing is just going to be a C to a F progression. C, F, back to C, to F. I think it actually sounds kind of cool to maybe partner, do the exact same thing over the C chord as you're doing over the F chord, because so much about having a great time is just hanging with your friends. So C and F are great buddies, just like Sean and Gus in the Psych 2 sequel that came out streaming on Peacock, which somehow I have access to even though I don't remember paying for it. But two great legendary buddies, right? Anything you do here? Maybe these are just alternate ways that you want to play a C chord to an F chord. Maybe that's the whole song, you know, or a part of a song. You can always just go from C. That one right there is like a super easy one, right? All I'm doing is getting a hammer on D string and then going to the G and the B string, right? Even more great news, if maybe some of this is beyond where you are playing, is I actually started a subscription site that has basically everything you'll ever need lesson-wise to take you from beginner up to this point. Check that out. Links in the description. Couldn't be easier, making everybody happy, right? F. That's definitely a C major chord at the end, right? And again, you know what? Again, you can make mistakes, still have a great time. Everybody's just chilling. I'm sure there's not going to be any negativity towards the comments. Again, now is the time for spreading good vibes. So I think it starts at home in your bedroom playing guitar, specifically maybe a Fender Ultra Strat if you're nasty. And then just work on, you know, seeing maybe a C major chord in a different way. That's where it can start. Instead of maybe you're playing a song and maybe it isn't even in, you know, that key. All right, let's do something like B flat to F to C. That's the whole progression. B flat, F to C, right? Maybe just that one spot, I want to add a little something extra. There's the F to C. B flat to F to C. B flat, F to C. Or maybe I want to do the same thing. B flat, F, C. Again, it really works on any major chord because that relative minor is super important. And again, you know, some negative Nancy's out there might be like, this is all just major pentatonic in a different position. But guess what? I'm not trying to hear that because I learned minor pentatonic first, and I can add it to whatever major chord I please. And that's just the way I see it. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. Have a super happy vibing day. I'll talk to y'all soon.